Hi, I'm Larry Richardson, your step-by-step chef. In this episode, we're going to make a delicious dish that is either good as a snack or you can even have it for lunch with a salad. It is a chicken quesadilla. It's extremely easy to make and I think you're really going to enjoy it. So come on, let's cook. So here are the ingredients for our chicken quesadilla. First of all, I do have about a half a pound of boneless, skinless chicken breast. I'm certainly not going to use all of that in one quesadilla. I'll probably only use a fraction of it, a very small fraction of it. But I'm preparing the chicken for the quesadilla in case I want to make additional quesadillas, or you can even put this chicken on salad and it would be absolutely delicious. So that's our chicken. I have one jalapeno. Now, if you don't like spicy foods, you don't have to use that at all. I'm just adding that in because it gives it a really good heat. I'm also going to use a 1/4 cup of minced sweet onion, and we're going to cook these with the chicken to give the chicken some flavor. I also have a half a cup of shredded Fiesta cheese. That's just a Mexican blend. Absolutely delicious in this. I have 2 flour tortillas, and then in the back we're going to use a tablespoon of vegetable oil, and that's just to cook the chicken and the vegetables in. We're going to use a teaspoon of chili powder, a teaspoon of salt, and then the hot sauce, get the hot sauce that you like, is just to top it when we're all done, in case you want to have a little extra heat to it. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. Let me show you how to put this all together. And the first thing we'll do is just prepare our vegetables. And this onion was used in another recipe, but I don't like to throw anything away. So all I'm doing is scoring the top so I can mince the onion. So I'm going this way on the top. And then I just go perpendicular. So it creates these nice little squares. And then I just cut down the face and I end up with my 1/4 cup of minced onion. There we go, 1/4 cup of minced onion. Now I'm wearing this glove because I'm working with the jalapeno, and I do recommend that you don't come in contact, let your skin come into contact with it, because you will feel it in your fingers, and even worse, if you go to cut your or touch your eye or anything, you're going to burn yourself. So I just always wear these gloves. If you don't have a glove, then use a knife and a fork and just kind of work around it until you can mince up the pepper. So you can see I just cut the top off the pepper. And now I'm just going to remove the core, including the seeds. Oops. Ooh, this is a spicy one. It's already getting me. My eyes are watering. So we just do that and then just rinse the seeds out. And again, mince this up. I don't want big pieces of jalapeno in our quesadilla. And this is such a yummy little dish and so easy to make. I think it will become one of your favorites. And then we're just cutting it real thin, nice little thin pieces. Woo, that one's getting my eyes. I should have worn my science goggles. Okay, a little couple of pieces escaped me. And there we go. And I'm just going to put the vegetables in this little bowl, set them aside. Wow, that's really fresh jalapeno. And now what we're going to do is just cut our chicken into really little pieces. We're just going to dice it, but real fine. You don't want big pieces of chicken in your quesadilla because when you go to bite down on it, the chicken will slip out and you'll probably get cheese all over your face. I mean, maybe you do want that. I don't know, but I don't like that. So I'm just taking these little medallions of chicken, and then we're just going to cut it even smaller. See, these are nice little pieces. This will cook up real fast too. This will cook perfectly with the vegetables and the spices. Nice little bite-sized pieces. And like I said, you can use some of this in other quesadillas or maybe even in a salad. And if you have any of this like fat on it, you do want to trim that off. That's not very pleasant. So I'm just cutting that off and discarding it. Do the same if you see any bone pieces. Nobody I know likes to break their tooth on a quesadilla. I know, it's just me. So then you just keep going at it, making these little morsels of chicken. And then we'll just cut these into smaller pieces. And make sure when you're all done that you give this cutting board and any utensils that come into contact with raw chicken, give them a good scrub. Give them some good soap and water. You want to have your cutting board nice and clean. Okay, so that's really all the prep work we have to do, except for one thing. I just remembered. As long as I have you over here, we might as well make the bottom half of the quesadilla. Just have it prepared so we can put the chicken right on it. So you can see I'm just taking it and spreading the cheese out nicely. And then we'll put our chicken right on top of this, and then we'll do our little bit of a frying of it, or toasting. I think toasting is a better word for it. So there's our cheese. Now I wouldn't go too overboard with the cheese the first time you make it, because if you do, the cheese is going to leak out all over the place, and you're going to have this so full you won't be able to flip it. So that's why you put this nice thin layer of cheese on, and then there's going to be a little bit of chicken on top. The cheese will melt through to the chicken, the top will stick down, and when you go to flip it, everything will work perfectly. At least in a perfect world. So we'll see what actually happens. I'll meet you over at the stove. Okay, so I preheated this small frying pan over medium heat. Let's just add our oil. And then add our chicken and start browning it up. And again, this process should be pretty quick because we cut the chicken into these little morsels. Just kind of keep it moving a little bit. And the reason I cook the chicken without the vegetables at first is I want to make sure that the chicken is browned on the outside and pretty well cooked before I add the veggies. That way I won't end up with any risk of raw chicken getting through to the quesadilla. Let's just keep working it for, I'd say, about 5 minutes. And I'll be right back, and you'll see where we are 5 minutes later. Okay, 5 minutes later, our chicken is cooked through quite nicely. I don't see any pink at all. Now, we did pick up some liquid, so I am just going to strain that off real quick. So I just drained that off, and now I'm going to add the vegetables and the spices. Again, it's not too much veg, but just enough to give the chicken a nice distinct taste. We'll add our salt and our chili powder. And then we're just going to saute the veggies with the chicken. And this will take about another 5 minutes. So I'll be right back. So here we are 5 minutes later. You can see that everything is nice and dry. The chicken has a nice color. It's cooked through. And the onion and the jalapeno are both finely sauteed. So we're going to take this off and put it on our quesadilla. So here we are. We're just going to spoon a little bit of the chicken onto the top of this. And again, it's little pieces because if you use big pieces of chicken, it's going to be very difficult to flip the quesadilla without it falling apart. And again, we're not going to go overboard, just a single layer, kind of spread out, because we want the cheese to melt and seal the quesadilla. So here we are at the stove. Now I did not preheat this pan. I'm just taking the top tortilla, just placing it on like this. Maybe line it up just a little bit better. There we go. And the reason I didn't preheat the pan is I want the cheese to melt, and that's kind of a gradual process. If I had the pan at medium already and I dropped this in, then the bottom would toast and the cheese and chicken wouldn't heat up. So I'm giving them a little bit of a chance to get cooked inside of the quesadilla. So this is going to take about 5 minutes, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are 5 minutes later, and what I like to do to see if it's toasted on the bottom is slide it like this. If it doesn't slide, it's pretty raw, and I can also feel that it's kind of mushy. If you do that, just be real careful, and then just press it with your spatula a little bit, and then put your spatula underneath, and then just flip it. So you can see that has a nice golden toast going. And now because the pan is already preheated, I don't have to cook the other side as long. So I'll give this second side about 3 minutes. And here we are 3 minutes later. That side slides nicely too. Now if you ever see smoke rise up, you got to either flip it or get it out of the pan. That means your tortillas are burning. And that's not a desirable effect. So I'm just going to take this out, and then we'll go cut it up. And most people cut these into sixths. So they'll go across this way. And then just cut each half into thirds. So you just go down like that, and down like that. So we'll do that to the whole quesadilla. And you just made an absolutely delicious snack or lunch. So congratulations, look at what you just made. You just made this delicious chicken quesadilla. Put a couple of spots of hot sauce on the top, and we're golden. I can't wait to look into this. Now, if you want a printable version of this recipe, please go to my website, stepbystepchef.com. There you're going to find printable recipes and free video links to probably over 140 recipes at the time you watch this video. The other thing you're going to find is my cookbook, Cooking with the Step-by-Step Chef. And this has all of the recipes up to a certain point in it. Like right now, this has 114 recipes, and I have 140 recipes on the site. Every November, I'm going to update this book. So this will save you the time of printing all of your favorite recipes. It also makes a pretty darn good and pretty reasonably priced gift. A gift for your friends and relatives. So I hope you will check this out. So my name's Larry Richardson. I am your step-by-step chef, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.